up and tell you all about these wonderful things happening upcoming next month. United We Stand Festival, put on by, of course, Free and Equal, the folks that put on the third-party debates. We need some other options. Blue is bought out by the big corporate heads. Red is bought out by the big corporate heads. And at this point, nobody's looking out for the small man. So the small man is most of us. So let's all unite, stand up together, and let's put some real people in office that can actually make some political change. Get on up here, Christina.
Hey, thank you for such a warm introduction. My name is Christina Tobin. I'm the president and founder of the Free and Equal Elections Foundation. And I feel so honored to be here today. We actually just drove in last night, this morning, from Rocklahoma. Free and Equal, we were a sponsor at Rocklahoma, over 70,000 tickets sold out there. We sponsored one of the whole stages out there. Tens of thousands of flyers, and the response that we have for the upcoming United We Stand Festival, June 22nd in Little Rock, Arkansas, is amazing. Now, many of you may have seen the presidential debate. I like to call it an open debate. Mainstream media likes to call it a third party. It was really an open debate, moderated by Larry King and myself. Over 20 million viewers viewed this debate. Top 10, yeah! Twitter, top 10 trending on Twitter. Thank you, Larry King, for being a part of that. We had 4 candidates confirmed for that debate. Former Libertarian Party candidate Gary Johnson, governor, 2-term in New Mexico. Jill Stein, Green Party. Virgil Good, it's good, with the Constitution Party. And Rocky Anderson, a Justice Party, former mayor of Salt Lake City. And what we did is we changed the national dialogue. These candidates and the movement have recognized that the two-party system has been intentionally dividing us for centuries. And now, with the power of social media and networking, we're going to unite as a nation, as a world. The youth will rise. No to the National Defense Authorization Act. No NDAA. CISPA, internet censorship. No. We want internet freedom.
That's right.
Wars, no war. No Patriot Act. No genetically modified organisms. These are the kind of topics we want to open the debates. We want to bypass the Federal Reserve. If you want real campaign election reform, campaign finance reform, you can't trust the two-party system to give it to you. They may say they're going to reform, but they don't follow the laws. They don't follow the laws at all because they themselves are controlled by Wall Street, which is controlled by the Federal Reserve, which is not federal. It's a private institution that was created in 1913, the same time as the income tax. That's no coincidence. And if you do your research, that was created by the Rothschild, the J.P. Morgan family, Rockefeller. Not good. The Federal Reserve, we need to bypass that. And there are 37 states, probably more now, that are introducing, and the process of introducing, alternative currency throughout the United States. The debates is used as a tool by the elite. It's used by a tool. What I learned last year when we organized the open debate moderated by Larry King, that over $50–60 million is funded from the Rockefellers high up to fund this Commission on Presidential Debates that's run by the former chair of the Democratic and Republican Party. That's unethical. And $50–60 million is used to fund ABC, NBC, run ads, CBS, CNN, and what do they do in return? They sponsor it. And then it becomes a tool. They only allow 2 candidates there that have been playing us for centuries. 2 candidates to provoke war. We don't need war. There are far more honest people in the world than there are not. Whether it's Syria, Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, America, we the people, honest people, will rise. We are not happy with our governments, not only in the world, U.S., but worldwide.
That's right.
Yes.
And one thing I learned, big thing with the open debate, is that the international media, they had no idea we had more than 2 parties. None of them. From Australia to all these different countries, Germany, dozens of them. No idea. What? Democrats and Republicans? You have more parties than that. But what I recognize is that parties don't work. We're going to go back to the origins of the Constitution with free and equal. The Constitution does not mention parties. I've been on the end. I've spoken at the National Conference for the Libertarian Party in 2010. I've been involved speaking at socialists, believe it or not, just events, for learning from the inside, the Green Party, and bringing and realizing we need to not be divisive, coming together. But I realize as third parties become larger, they inevitably become infiltrated as well, and they lose connection with the state party. So if we want to shift back to the origins of the Constitution, we need to rise as independents. That's the key. So, the United We Stand Festival on June 22nd is the kickoff for a national tour. We're going to launch a 10-stop university bus tour throughout the country in the spring. This June 22nd event is the answer the world is waiting for. I will be devoting the rest of my life this month in the entire state of Arkansas, traveling from county to county, meeting with Occupy Little Rock is sponsoring United We Stand Festival. The Tea Parties, the Libertarians, the Greens, the Independent Republicans, the Independent Democrats, we the people, the independents are rising. Saving Abel. Have you heard of Saving Abel? Saving Abel is taking the lead. They're standing up and saying, you know what? We need to open up not only the electoral system, but the music industry. The labels have been dumbing down music intentionally, been watering down music, so kids are listening to gibberish when there's wonderful music. Like, don't stop, please. It needs to be heard. We have Golden State, who performed at Rocklahoma last night. What a great turnout. Yeah. Jesse the Body Ventura is going to be speaking at the United We Stand Festival. And I would like to personally invite Don't Stop Please to come perform at the United We Stand Festival. What sets this band apart from the rest is not only their talent, that's a given, but recently, this past weekend, they performed at against the Monsanto rally that's been, throughout the U.S. I think there's 40 simultaneously. We're planning on connecting with them to United We Stand Festival. And so that's really a really cool thing that they're doing, and I think it's important for the youth at United We Stand Festival to see music with meaning and them talking about the issues in Eureka that that they connect with and what they believe in, what they don't believe in. Wow, SWEPCO. Yeah, it's not good. And so the politicians here, I'll plan on meeting as much of the press I can today and tomorrow to, educate the press and leaders and the National Resource Defense Fund. Come out against SWEPCO, please. Being neutral does not represent the people, not at all on that issue. So the reason we have issues like SWEPCO is because, again, we have the wrong people in office, a two-party system controlled by the Wall Streets, controlled by the Federal Reserve, controlled by the elite. So finally, this 10-stop university bus tour we're having in the spring is the kickoff to get the students, the kids, the individuals to rise and run for local office in 2014. The 2014 key races are far more important than the presidential race. Don't believe the mainstream media, which we know can't believe. So the 2014, I, at 27 years of age in 2010, I'm 31 now, ran for statewide office in California. I didn't win. I wanted to run independent. I had to run libertarian. In 2008, I worked as a national ballot access coordinator for independent Ralph Nader. While I don't believe in all its causes, I believe in more voices and choices. And to date, I've helped myself gather tens of thousands of signatures for candidates across the spectrum, but I've also helped manage over 1 million to get candidates on the ballot throughout the United States. And I've realized, first and foremost, that our parties, we can't fix fix the system from within. The Republican Party would rather crash the party than let somebody else take over. Look at Dr. Ron Paul, what they did in Florida. Rand Paul, it's a dead end. He knows it's ABCs. So I welcome all of you to join Don't Stop Please. I'm sure they'll be reaching out to all of you and buying tickets. Tickets are $25 each. If you come and grab a flyer, there's a $10 coupons as low as $15. We want to make it cheap for the kids to be able to get in and see the music and have fun, because music is the universal language. Spirituality is going and will rise. So again, check us out. Thank you so much, everybody, for having me. I urge you all to run for local office in 2014. Oh, and we're going to launch a national open source database that will list every single candidate running for office. You run, you up there, you run, back there, you run for office, you'll have a free and equal chance of winning, because money in politics is going to phase away. Social media and technology is going to bring integrity within our electoral process. And when people can see 12, 15, 20 people running for office in open debates, we have leaders, free and equal chapters, maybe you'll want to be one, somebody with Don't Stop Please, somebody up there, hosting and organizing these open debates at the local level, giving all these candidates that are against the NDAA, SOPA, GMO, war, all these different issues, to come together and rise and replace Democrats and Republicans alike for the 2014 races. And I believe come 2018, parties will likely cease to exist, because our forefathers, if you read the Constitution, doesn't mention parties, doesn't mention parties. So thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing Don't Stop Please at the United We Stand Festival. No on Swepco. Swepco is now a sponsor of United We Stand Festival. Thank you, Swepco, and thank you for so much coming out today and your time.
Thank you, Christina. All right. Well, wow, what do you know? Oh, my. Another peaceful revolution? Huh. How many of you remember the 60s? You weren't there. Well, I want to invite Eileen. Eileen, would you come up and say a few words? Eileen Powell is going to talk a little bit about this dilemma we're facing with Swepco.
Of Save the Ozarks, and I am a homeowner here that moved from New Orleans. I lost my home to a man-made disaster called Katrina. My home is under threat of being destroyed by yet another man-made disaster called Swepco. These transmission lines are going to run 48 miles through the Ozarks. They're going to rape the purity of our land. And what we need for people to do is to join SaveTheOzarks.org and help us to create awareness, just like this, with rallies. What Swepco is going to do is take down 800 acres of trees from Bentonville to Berryville. And if you think they're stopping in Berryville, they're not. They're going to continue, and they're going to go along the East Coast. We need to stop all routes now. What they're going to do is use herbicides into perpetuity to keep these lines clear. The herbicides are going to run into your drinking water. All your drinking sources, if you're on well or you're on spring fed, they're going to be polluted. Our wildlife's going to be polluted. We have endangered species that are at risk here. These towers are 160 feet tall. They're 3 times the size of our trees. Nobody's coming to the Ozarks or Eureka Springs to see the army of power poles that are going to run through our land. All routes need to be stopped. You can go to SaveTheOzarks.org. We've got direct links to let your voices be heard to the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission is 3 people who are going to decide our fate. We need to be heard. They need to know that we will not allow our land to be raped, and we will not allow our businesses to be destroyed. The economic domino effect is devastating. The environmental disaster that's going to happen here is going to decimate this area. We need to stop it now. Again, go to SaveTheOzarks.org. We've got orange signs available for $5 that you can put up in your yards or on the highways, wherever you see fit, that we can get our awareness out there. We've also got bumper stickers that all the bikers here, let me tell you, you like driving through these beautiful roads? going to cross at Inspiration Point, and you're going to see nothing but power poles. You're not going to have Inspiration Point. We've got to stop it. Again, SaveTheOzarks.org. Thank you all, and please spread the word.
Yeah. And while we're at it, who are these people that want to dump pig shit in the Buffalo River? I don't know. All right, I'm going to ask Eric Schoeneman to come up. Local resident, hippie, visionary, seer, wise man. Hi, Eric.
Thank you for the introduction there. Thank you all for being here. Folks, we already had a revolution. Unfortunately, we're educated by a government. We had revolted from the government, and we created a citizen government. It's very important for us to know what a citizen government is and how it works. And in order to do so, we educate ourselves independently. That's the reason why every school district votes in its own school board. Okay, from a free and independent school comes a free and independent mind. It's very, very important. From a centrally created school, the dictatorship, the corporate school, you have a corporate-controlled mind. Because that's, you know, this is what ends up happening as a result. In the year 1950, the average high school student had a vocabulary of 30,000 words. By the year 2000, that had been systematically reduced to 10,000. So our ability to even to think and communicate and put this stuff together diminishes. Now they're trying to remove cursive handwriting from government schools. So we can't even read our Constitution, which is our contract with our elected officials. As a citizen government, if you look at the definition of republic, it begins with where the citizens have the supreme authority.